How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Hey, welcome to Charles Trent Take Home the Big Money Thursday.
That's right.
There you go, man. Yesterday was kind of an interesting card and a couple nice wins in there, but a couple of prices. The interesting thing about yesterday, Charles, I went back and looked through all of our sheets, and every winner except one, I think, was ranked in the top 3 for total pace yesterday. So if we had just played total pace yesterday, we would have lit it up.
Okay. Total pace.
Yeah. You know, when we do all of our pace sheets, the total pace was the key yesterday. I decided today to use that a little bit more weighting to my picks today with total pace to see if maybe it can go 2 days in a row. As I mentioned yesterday, our Horse Center show last night with Jamie and Sean, if it ever decides to want to come on the screen there, I don't know. There it is. Bang. My computer's cooperating with George Allen Bryant. Always a fun guy to listen to. If you haven't had a chance to catch that show yet, make sure you tune in for that. It's right here on our Horse Racing Radar TV. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button when you watch. Take the link. If you like what you saw, you see right down here where it says share. Click that share button. Copy it. Boom. Put that then on your social sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Rumble, whatever other ones that are out there. I know there's like 50 million of them. So whatever one you use, kindly share that with your friends. If you like what you saw last night, if you like what you see today, you can share ours as well. It's important that you follow us on our links below. Also, yesterday, we told you go ahead and take advantage of our free picks at Presque Isle Downs yesterday. Now, look at that. We had a pick 5 that paid $1,300, a pick 4 that paid $538. Today's free track is Delta Downs. So again, there's a link down in the description below. Kindly click on that so they know where you're coming from. And you'll see in the first race today, no best bet there, but hey, we got a 5-1 shot on top. Chantilly Memorial. Not bad. Yesterday we had a 8-1 win the opener for us at
well, it looks like
Saratoga.
The free tracks are staying hot there because when you were gone on vacation, they were pretty hot too.
Yeah, when I go through the handicapping, because I do a lot of the handicapping over there, I try to identify the track where I feel like the horses have where they, I don't want to say predictability because it's horse racing, where I feel the most comfortable when I'm done with the handicapping. I don't know, how comfortable did you feel with today's Saratoga card?
Better than yesterday's, I can tell you that. Maybe it's because there's not so many scratches as yesterday.
Could be too. And what's interesting today, they scratched the 2 5.5 furlong races on turf, but every other turf race is a go on the grass unless the weather changes between here and there. So we know that for sure. But what do we know about race number 1 in terms of the conditions, Charles?
Well, race number 1 is 6.5 furlongs. This is for a maiden claiming of 40,000. This is for maidens 3-year-olds and upward, and the purse is $52,000.
A little bit of money at stake in that maiden claiming at 6.5 furlongs, a distance we did not see yesterday. But today, the profile of a winner, at least so far at the Saratoga Meet this summer, has been early speed, but only 13% of them have gone wire to wire. So you probably want to be second or third at that quarter-mile marker. There's a little bit of a rail penalty, so more than luck, may not have been lucky to draw the rail. 2 and 3 play under par. So it looks like that inside 3 might have its work cut out for it. 4 through 7, you get a bonus. So far, nobody's won from 8 and out. Maybe they haven't fielded an 8-race field. Charles, we do 1,000 simulations using speed figures. Calculate how often that horse gets the maximum speed number, and then convert those to odds. The lower, the better. See if we can find a little bit of value. We also do that for early pace figures to see who is likely to have what % chance to be on the lead at the quarter-mile marker. And based upon our projected pace, we figure out which horse has the best chance to run a race that mirrors its best race. So in other words, Bargaining Power has a 97% chance, according to our Z-Zone, to find this pace today to his liking. What do you see in the data?
Yeah, so first thing is the number 1 is going to have basically a 95% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. The question is, will he hang on is the main question. And according to our data, it's saying 1 through 3 has a tough time with that.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3, just slightly under 4-1, and we got 4.5-1 on morning line. So it's a little overlay. And then we got the 7 at what would be that?
About 1-2.
Yeah, something like that, 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
There. And we got even money morning line.
Not bad. Because I mentioned that C-zone bargaining power, very strong C-zone. I mentioned at the top that our total pace number over here was very much a predictor yesterday. Looking at the race shape here, the E's again, if you're new, those are pilots. They want to be in the front of the plane. EPs, this type can be a pilot or a co-pilot. The P's are co-pilots. They don't like to pull the levers. They just like to kind of ride along. Your PC types, I'll call those going forward, are stewardess or stewards nowadays, or are they just stews now? I don't know. But they can be anywhere on that plane. Your
flight attendants.
Flight attendants. Okay, yeah, flight attendants. There you go. The C's are the ones who sit in coach, try to sneak their way up front at the end of the race. And C's, they've not been close. So they're the ones that show up late without a ticket, miss the flight. So they haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line, at least so far in the last 10. And then you got the 4-horse here making its first time start. If early speed is indeed the way, and we talked about that in the simulation, the 1-horse does have a 6-point advantage. So very likely to be your pace setter when the gates open. Does he have the late legs to hang on? And it doesn't look like he does. Falls back down to here. Sipican Shop, 9 points better than right up. So that means it's about a 2-length lead, but it's going to be way behind according to its early pace there. So maybe another race where it's just not involved enough early on to be in the winner's circle. Maybe come up for a piece of the trifecta or superfecta with that late legs. And again, yesterday, the winner was found more often than not in that top 3 for total pace. That would be the 1, the 3, and the 7 scoring out as your top total pace horses. Who scored out as your top horses?
The 7. I personally think the 1 will go out there, but I think the 3 is going to soften up the 1 a little bit. So I think it sets it up perfectly for the 7. 7 has enough speed to keep close enough and to make 1 run. Drops in class today. Rice gets 36% when she takes him from a straight maiden to a maiden claiming. And, of course, you got the combo, Jose Ortiz and Rice, which is almost unbeatable, it seems like.
And that horse right now is warming up, and I have to say, neck is bowed, ears are pointy. He looks really fluid, that 7-horse right now. He's 7-5 morning, 7-5, 6-5 post time odds right now.
All right. And then the 5 is my second choice. This horse is cutting back in distance today. It's got some tactical speed. Brown gets 32% when he takes the blinkers off. So he's trying to get this horse to relax a little bit and see what he can get out of that. Then I'm going to have that other speed horse, the 3. I believe it'll be the one that's going to soften up the 1. They add Lasix today, and it's a first-time gelding, so he's a little angry. And he was well bet last time, so you got to look out for that. That means everybody liked him the first time out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4-horse is my price horse. The Dam has 2 winners from 2 starters. You got solid works in this horse, well-bred for this, so why not throw him in the mix?
So Scary says toss out that 2 horses break last time and disregard the early pace numbers that we saw here on that 2-horse. Sipien Shop, that's his top pick in here. Broke bad, made up lots of lengths late. That's good to see from McPeak, who's typically better in the second race anyway. Also like that 3-horse, Assertive Attitude, gelded in Lasix. And we always joke around here that, when you get gelded, next time out, you're going to run hard because you're afraid they're going to cut something else off. And then trying to beat that 7 that everybody loves. I like that 7-horse too, Charles. Maybe I wouldn't have put him up there, but he is a straight maiden special weight dropper for the first time in his career. 34% angle for a 25% trainer in Linda Rice. That is alpha. Also, you see the 1-2. So even at 1-1, according to, or 6-5, according to our simulation, still some value with that 7. Assertive Attitude, I like that one too, Scary. Decently bet in its November debut, showed some speed. And as you look at those works, they keep getting faster and faster and faster heading into today. I Love Kara, first-time starter. I don't think there's a whole lot to beat in here. And I'm just kind of rewinding back to that July 9th work, 4 furlongs and 47-2. That's a pretty good workout. I'm hoping the ones after that were just to keep the horse sharp and not put it over the edge. And then Bargaining Power, the 5-horse, next up for me. Flash some speed on the second start. Going to flip to Irad today. Recent works, some of his best, according to the published works. I'm going to do a double for a buck, 3-4-7 with the 1-5. And I kind of hope that 4-horse, I Love Kara, is the winner, because that would make for a good start to my daily double.
And I'm going to go with the Ortiz brothers exacta, and actually the top 2 C-zone, if you look at that.
Yeah, you got a C-zone exacta right there. If you throw in the 6-horse Golden Purchase, you got to have a C-zone trifecta. And that 6-horse has a 40-1 odds right now, 41-1 odds. That would really juice up that trifecta.
It sure would.
So the 1-horse is now moved in to the gates. That is Mo Than Luck, the one that we think has a pretty good shot to get to the lead. Scary Creations 2, finding its way into the starting gate. Now the 3-horse coming in a little bit sideways, a little reluctant to load for Assertive Attitude. He certainly does seem like he has a little bit of attitude going into the gates, but he goes in without too much of a fuss. The 4-horse, the long shot there, 16-1. I Love Kara, looking really calm today in its debut. Walked in there really kind of smoothly, Charles. Then you got the 5-horse coming in next. Irad Ortiz, and Bargaining Power. Another one that goes in without much to argue. The 41-1 long shot with decent C-zone marched right on in like a pro. Now we're off to that 7-horse with Jose Ortiz and the drop for Linda Rice. They're all lined up. Sunny day for the first one on today, and they're off. And as expected, the 1-horse breaks kind of sharply. Has a little bit of company to its inside there, or to its outside, Charles. Kind of tough to tell who that is. The 5-horse, Bargaining Power. Right there. And to the outside of Bargaining Power is indeed the 7-horse, which is right up. So your exacta for the Ortizes look like it might work out. That 6-horse is probably about 3 lengths off in fourth. The 3-horse on the rail, a touch behind that, but now moving in front of the 6. The 3 trying to make its move. The 1-horse continues to take the lead. No, the 5-horse has Bargaining Power. It's found its way to the front. The 7-horse now making its aggressive move up along the 5. Question is, will Irad let Jose by?
We shall. No, they know. They fight it out all the way.
Well, I remember one race when he had Latruska, where they fought it out, and he just burned Latruska. But it does look like this 5-horse, my 4th pick, is going to be the one. Tough to beat here, Charles. It looks like he's running a little bit better than the 7. Oh, the 7 now is starting to try to find a stride. Of course,
well, I'd rather have the 5 win.
Of course, Irad's going to come off the rail and try to run his brother off a little bit. There's no question about that.
Try, but
yeah. And then you have the Cyprian Shop, like last time, closing hard.
Once again, Irad stop riding, and we get there.
7, 2, and 5. So 7-horse, tough to beat. But that 7-horse did go off, Charles, at 1-1. And if you trust our simulation odds, it said fair value was 1-2. So I know 1-1 is not, a lot of people are going to look at that and say that that's not good value. But if the fair value odds are 1-2 and you get double that, that's still fair value.
Yep.
It's actually a good bet.
Yep.
Should have just start off with a pick 5 there, single to 7, right?
Well, yeah, that's how you always start after the race, right? You can start talking like that.
2020 vision.
I have to admit, although Irad, I think, didn't finish pushing the 5 at the end, but that 2 ran a heck of a race at the end.
He's got to get off to better starts, though, right? Because you can't spot the field 12 lengths all the time.
Yeah, he's got a terrible start. He's a closing sprinter. They might have to stretch that horse out to 7 furlongs to see what they could get out of it.
Or maybe throw him on grass or something, right?
Maybe it might change his attitude a little bit. Or take him to a trainer that's a quarter horse trainer, and that'll teach him.
Get him out of the gates in a split second. What's going to happen in race 2?
Well, in race 2, it's a mile on the inner turf. This is the option claiming of $62,500, non-winners of 2. Purse is $156,000.
Yeah, like a stakes race almost.
Yeah. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $18,000 twice, other than maiden claiming starter, state bred allowance, which have never won 3 races.
All right. So at a mile on the inner turf, the profile of a winner has tactical speed, although despite going a mile on the inner turf, 40% so far. A big number, Charles, going wire to wire. Post positions 1, 2, and 3, and 8 and out. They play a little bit above par. So that barbell approach, 4 through 7. Well, if the other ones play a little bit above, 4 through 7 have to play a little bit below. And indeed, they do. Our simulations, again, for race number 2, Charles, looks like you might want some speed, perhaps on the inside, but it sure looks like the 4-horse not so close. The rest might not be so close when the gates open.
Yeah, that 4-horse has got a 70% chance of getting the lead, and that's how I actually see it too. I think the 4 is going to be out there. This horse is going to be tough in this race, but it's a tough race overall. So with that being said, could go wire to wire, could have a tough time because there's other nice horses in this race. The 1 might have a say in that if that horse breaks on top. Mm-hmm. When it comes to simulation odds, well, we got the 4 itself, just slightly in a 4-1. We got 4-1 morning line. So that's about the best we could do on that because of 4 scratches in this race.
The 5-horse is the best C-zone score, so should be the most comfortable. And again, I was thinking about popping the 4 in here too. So I think really is a pretty much wide open race. If you think early speed's going to hold on, which 40% go wire to wire, then you're probably looking at the 2 or the 4. And with that strong C-zone score, probably the 4 over the 2. According to the pace handicapping, the 2 and the 4, there you go. Those 2 should get towards the front. And indeed, the 4-horse does show that it has about a 5-point advantage over the 2, Sister Luann and Saffron Moon. So the 4 should be your pace setter in race number 2. Question is, again, can he hold on at the end? He's right in there, 74, a little bit of a downgrade there. That Chili Flag, though, look at that, Charles. 13 points better than everybody else. That's a PC type. So that's that flight attendant could move a little towards the left, a little better start. Those late legs might make it next to impossible to hold that one off. Then as far as your total pace, again, played pretty well yesterday. The 1, the 3, and the 4, they score out the best. A little bit of a gap down to the 5. Sister Luann might have its work cut out for it. Charles, what do you think?
I see it the exact same way as that chart finished up. 3, 1, 4, 5, and then, of course, the 2. I like the 3 here. The horse won the last 2 times. Brown gets 26% when he rests the horse up for 90-plus days. And, you know, sometimes some people think 90 days is a lot. It's a nice rest for some horses. Some horses kind of need it. Pratt is aboard, so watch out for this horse, especially at the end. The 1 horse is my second choice here. One last time out. Brown and Irad combo. You can't turn your head on that. This is the 3rd start after a layoff. Brown gets 26% with that angle. And then my 3rd pick is that 4. Could go wire to wire. You know, if they let this horse have an easy lead, it could be gone. Ran 2nd last time out. Norm Casey, excellent new coming trainer. Last a year and a half or so, 46-plus days of rest. He gets 23%. So why not? And then the 5 is my final pick here. Ran 3rd last 2 times. Third start after a layoff. Trainer gets 20% with that angle. Totally fits with this group. And you know what? Even the 2 itself's got a little speed, so it might be a little dangerous too. That's why I hit the all button in this pick 4. So I just want to get out of this race, basically.
Just wants to move on. All right. Feels confident in the back half of that race.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with that 5-horse in there as my top pick, Pleasant Passage. Horse is making its 3rd start after a layoff, which is your favorite handicapping angle, Charles. Speed number last time out jumped considerably in the only other 3rd race after a layoff and has 2 really swift workouts in between races. Should put in a sharp effort here with that strong C-zone score. Chili Flag, the 1-horse, crushed the field the last time out, ran about 2 seconds faster than the prior start, and all of the internal numbers were better across the board. So another one looks really shape. And then if it can get off to a little better start today, with that late pace advantage over the rest of the field, could be very difficult to hold them off at the wire. Saffron Moon, your 3-horse, my 3rd pick. As you mentioned, Charles, they put this horse from dirt to turf. And then since then, 2 straight wins, both at a mile. Just feel like the company here today might be a little bit stronger than he's seen before. And then finally, tough call between the 2 and the 4 with that speed horse. Probably should have went with the 4 horse, but Sister Luann's been facing much tougher company and has 2 bullet workouts between races. So maybe it's a sign that that horse will live up to what they thought it might be running against better. I'm going to do a pick 4, 1, 5 with the 4, 6, with the 4, 6, with the 4, 5, and 6. So I can go 5. Well, I was looking to see if I can go like 4, 4, 4 or 5, 5, 5 all the way, but I couldn't. All right, let's go on to race number 3, Mr. Charles, and tell us what they're running for here.
Well, in race number 3, we got a mile and a 16th on the turf. Option claiming of 45,000, non-winners of 2. Purse is 100,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upward. Fold in New York State. This is for they have never won 18,000 other than maiden claiming starter, which have never won 3 races, or optional claiming price of 45,000.
Yes, the conditions there are enough to tongue tie you a bit. A lot of bold lettering there. Mile and the 16th on the turf. There's been 8 races, kind of split down the middle between closer, stalkers, and speed horses. 2 of the 8 have gone wire to wire. Post positions, you got 3 wins from post positions 2 or 3, and the other 5 come from 8 and out. So it looks like outside is where you probably want to look, Charles, although maybe the 2 or 3 might be in the case there. If you're looking for one that go wire to wire in race number 3, Charles, it looks like once again the 4 horse might be on the front.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 59% chance there at that 4 getting that lead there, and I have it down on my charts here too, the same thing. I think that horse is going to get the lead at the quarter pole. So, and, especially with that 8 being scratched, I think it's going to have a little bit easier time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to our simulation odds, let's see, would we have anything? Nope. No overlays on our simulation odds.
And the 2 inside horses, Citizen K and Barrage, very strong on the C-zone score. So those 2 should get a pace that they're very comfortable with. Will the race shape up nicely for the 1 and 2 as well? Well, they're the only PC horses, the 1 and the 4. So that means you really don't have horses that want to go to the lead. At least haven't showed it so far. Looking at the race today, which one's going to go to the front? Sure looks like it's going to be the 4 horse Rough Draft. We did see that in the simulation as well. So maybe that one is your pace setter in there. Though you have a whole host of them that aren't that far off. Only Fatima's Blessing being off the pace there. So that one better damn well be a good closer. And it is 6 points better than anybody else. But that's only about a length. And this one should be way more than a length off the leader at the quarter-mile marker. So you're going to have to work really hard, I think, if you're backing the 5. To find the winner circle. As far as total pace, and again, total pace was a big deal yesterday. That 4 horse Rough Draft scoring, 7 points better than anybody else, Charles. Whenever you start closing in on 10 points, it's a horse that may not necessarily win, but as we say, one that you might want to key your exacta and trifecta bets around, wheel it. Keep an eye on that 4 horse Charles to get to the front and maybe stay there. What do you say?
He might stay there. But I still like my top 2 choices here in this race. The 6 horse itself ran 3rd last time. This horse definitely has some tactical speed. He's got enough speed there to keep up with these guys. Steve Ashmanson gets 18% overall. So, I mean, he always sends them out fit all the time. So I'm not too worried about that. The 7 horse is my second choice here. This one's got tactical, but as even the chart's shown, more on the closing side. Clement and Pratt combination, that ain't too bad. You shouldn't turn your head on that, right?
Not ever.
And then the 1 horse is my third choice. Another horse that's got some tactical speed, could sit right there, 2nd, maybe even 3rd. And trainer gets 15% overall, and you got Franco at his home turf. So let's see what they could do. And then like my final pick is the 4. Could go wire to wire. This horse has got speed. 3rd start after a layoff. The trainer gets 26% with that angle. So he is definitely dangerous. But I'm going to go with the exacta with my top 2 picks.
I'm going to go with that 4 horse Rough Draft to stay on the lead. It shows that he's going to get the lead. He's going long for the first time. I really like that angle too. Speed horses that go long for the first time, that accentuates its speed. So might make it even a little bit quicker. Is that 3rd start off the layoff and does have that total pace advantage. We'll see if we can hang on to that going a little bit longer today. Agent Creed showed some improvement in its last race. getting a little extra distance today, I think is helpful for your top pick, Charles. Number 2, Barrage tends to run well, coming off the bench fresh, just like today. Does have a trio of maintenance works to keep the horse on edge between starts. Finally, Citizen K, the one horse, I feel like that one has the most upside in the field and is a candidate to move forward in the second race off the sidelines. My traditional trifecta, which is only $6, by the way, 2, 4, 6 over the 4, 6 over the 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. On to race 4 we go, Mr. Charles. And in race number 4, hopefully we don't have as many big letters today. We don't. What's going on in the 4th race?
In the 4th race, another 6.5 furlong contest here, and it's claiming price of $40,000. Non-winners of 2 life. Purse is $52,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Going back to race number 3, our good friend here, Scary Creation, says he's going to go with the 4, Rough Draft. That's the one I have in there. And the 7, Frank's Art, with Pratt to battle it to the wire, box them and book it. Got to like the confidence there from our good friend, Scary Creations. So at 6.5 furlongs, that's what we saw in the opener there. The 7 horse did kind of get toward, what was the 7 horse? Those 2 went 1, 2, and then the 7, so kind of stalked. So forwardly placed horse, that's typically what does win. As we mentioned, only 13% go wire to wire. So we mentioned at the top of the show in race number 1, look for a horse to be second or third to come through for the win. Maybe we'll see that in race number 4 as well. There's a little bit of a rail penalty, so Dr. Perry might find that those early odds could work to its disadvantage, getting that rail spot. And then 2 through 3, they play under par. 4 through 7 is where all the action has been so far. Charles, looking at the early speed in race number 4, looks again like we have a standout that should get to the front and make everybody come get them.
Yeah, the 3 is definitely a standout at 53% chance getting that lead at the quarter pole. And that's how I see it also too. But there's a couple of horses in here that's kind of got sneaky speed. And the 2 is definitely one of them that could sit very close. So that might be the one sitting second, and hopefully it's just not too far off the 3. And that's how they'll make that pounce. When it comes to simulation odds, we don't have no overlays again. It's because some of these scratches are not helping us. So, And it looks like everybody likes the C zone except for that leader, which is the 3.
Yeah, he might not be comfortable up front there, right? He's not going to be happy with that. Is he going to be our pace handicapping? Look at this race, Charles. The 5 horse so far hasn't found his way to within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish wire up to the last 10 races. So he's going to have his work cut out for him today. Everybody wants to be on the front, Charles. So this might just come down to who gets to the front. Everybody else puts a little effort in. Cam and Duke, 8 points better than the next closest one. That's a pretty good aggressive early pace lead right there, Charles. So I wouldn't be shocked. Cam and Duke is a length and a half at the quarter mile marker in front of everybody else. At least half a horse length. That late speed belongs to the 4 horse Watasha. I guess that's how that goes. Along with V-Mart and Dr. Perry. Again, late total pace yesterday was the key to unlock the winners. If you're looking at total pace, you're looking at 3 horses, all the even number horses. The 2, 4, and 6, Charles. So if you just box to the even numbers in this race, you might get the exacta. What do you think?
Well, I got 2, 4, 6 in my first 3. And yeah, I like the 2 here. This horse has got that tactical speed. They add the blinkers today, so you're going to probably see a little bit more speed out of him. And, of course, you got Steve Ashmanson and Irad as a combo. Not bad at all. And then the 4 is my second pick in here. This horse drops in class today. Rice gets 37% when she drops them after she claims them.
It's a good number.
That's a huge number. And, of course, she's got her great combo rider, Ortiz itself. So is that going to be another Ortiz exacta maybe I'm going to go for there? But anyway, the 6 is my third choice. This is another one that drops in class today. Got some tactical speed. Definitely could keep up as the chart showed. Totally fits with this group, so can't turn your head on that horse. And then, of course, the 3, the speed, which drops in class today. My question is, can the 3 hang on? And I'm saying probably not and get minor awards for that. And I'm going to do another pick 4 here. going with my top 2 picks here in this leg, first leg. Then I'm spreading out my top 4 picks. Then I got a single in that third leg. And then I'm going not just my top 4, but I threw in a 5th pick on that fourth and final leg.
Wow, you're getting aggressive there, Charles.
I've got to.
You have to, yes, indeed. I got the 6-horse one here. We just went exact opposite order. You went 2-4-6. I went 6-4-2. V-Mart. The only time that horse won, Charles, was at Saratoga. That was in its debut. It won by 8 3/4 lengths. So I'm going to put my money on V-Mart being a horse for the course. Number 4, Wat Asha. Claim and drop for Linda Rice, as you mentioned. That's a big number, 37%, which is alpha. About 50% alpha because she normally wins at about 25%. It does have a bullet workout on August the 1st. So it looks like Linda has put a little bit of juice into that horse from the jump. Number 2, Dr. Perry, third start after a layoff. It is indeed switching to Irad Ortiz. We'll see if that's enough today. And then Western Gent getting a little bit of a nod over Cam Duke for me. Better late in its last race, and since then has 2 very good works, including a bullet on August the 7th. I think the lights have come on for Western Gent. $1 trifecta, 6 with 2-4 with all on the back end for me. I'm hoping to get a little bit of a nice price with that 6-horse. In the 5th race, this is a 10-race card today, Charles. I thought it was only 9. So we're halfway through. In race number 5, another maiden race.
Yeah, it's another maiden race. This one's 6 furlongs. Purse is $83,000. This is for Phillies 2-year-olds, so should be a nice, fun race to watch. And
press the all button.
Yeah, these Phillies, you know how they are, especially the young 2-year-olds. Whew,
well, any 2-year-old, man. Just one race, they look like they could win the Triple Crown. The next race, it looks like you better put them in like a $1,200 claimer up at Emerald Downs or something.
Yeah.
So at 6 furlongs, you're looking for early speed. 34% of the time, they go gate to wire and don't see the backside of another horse. There's a little bit of a small rail bias, so Flowers for me could benefit from that. 2 through 7 play a little bit under par. If you wear the pink 8 or out, that's the best place to be. Outside speed, Charles. But I think in race number 5 with all these horses, we really don't have a shot at looking at our simulation. So it's penciled to paper, Charles, straight up old-fashioned handicapping, and somehow we both landed on Leslie's Loot.
Well, I think this horse is the speed of the speed in this race. So that's why I landed on it. Ran 3rd last time, 2nd start after a layoff. So this horse will be out there playing, come and catch me type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 is got some of that tactical speed. I think this horse could be sitting 3rd or so. Well bet last time out. Trainer gets 21% when he puts him in their second race. That's what you got here. And then my 3rd pick is the 3. She's well bred, solid works. McPeak gets the total of 14% overall in the year, but he's much better than that. But the 9 is my price horse. The Dam has 1 winner from 1 starter. Got some solid works. You got a hot trainer at Saratoga, which is clicking at 29% at Saratoga.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Leslie's Loot got the top pick for me for a whole different reason. I like when the owner and the trainer are the same. I like to look for that because I feel like when the owner and the trainer are the same, they don't. I think they place their horses right more often than not, and so I think this should be the right level and the right race for Leslie's Loot. Accommodate Eva, first-time starter, does have some really nice workouts getting ready at 5-1 morning line. Ganucha, the 4-horse, was the favorite last time out. You mentioned that he was well bet, Charles. I think he was like a 3-1 favorite, so really not one that the bettors were really throwing a lot of money on, so he didn't really burn a lot. But Robert Reed does rebound at 35% the next time around the track with a horse that disappointed as the public's choice. Does have a decent maintenance workout in between starts. And finally, Ms. Mastery. Right? When you look through the bottom of the workouts as she gets ready for her debut, you see that the workouts are getting faster and faster and faster. If that trend continues, could be faster on the track today. Again, my trifecta, 4, 5, 6 with the 5, 6 with the 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 8. I don't have your boxed wine in there, Charles, and maybe I will regret that when they finish and the 9-horse comes in 3rd. or wins, right? It could
or wins. That's why I put in my pick 4. I put all 4.
Yeah, but you didn't have any bets in there. So this is one of the 2 races that's off the turf, Charles. The 2 short sprints, 5.5 furlongs.
Correct.
They're off the turf, but they're still running for the same prize.
Yes, this one's off the turf, 5.5 furlongs. Allowance of 50,000. Purse is 70,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, which have never won a race other than maiden or claimant.
And that 5.5 furlongs on the dirt, we don't have any data, Charles, to identify our profile of a winner. Do got a couple of scratches in here in the 6 race. You see the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 11 to the sidelines. They had some speed. And if you look at it, Charles, every single horse has some chance to be on the lead here in the 6th race.
Yeah, that's what you kind of get. Yeah, the 10's got a 24% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. The 5's got a 20% chance. This is really tough. I personally even think the 12's got a shot at getting that lead at the quarter pole. So that's going to be a tough one there. When it comes to our simulation odds, it looks like the 10 a little bit, just under 6-1, and we got 6-1 morning line, and then we got that 12 just slightly over 2-1, and we got a 5-1 morning line. So that might be the nice overlay there.
Yeah, that could be indeed. Our way to the winner's circle worksheet in terms of the race number 6, when we look at the pace setup, you got a couple of them in here that are interesting to me because you have the 2 Sesame Street horses in here that aren't like the others, the 12 and the 10. The 5, 7, and 9, they want to be on the front. The 4, 6, and 8, they want to be on the back. They want to close. So those 2 in the middle, if the front horses go too fast, they can kind of pause and just sit in front of the closers and try to outrun them to the wire. And if they go too slow, they can push up and then still have the jump on the closers. If you're looking for that early speed, Ignited should be Ignited. Everybody's got a chance here, though, within 10 points. We saw that in the simulation. So it could be pretty aggressive as they come out of the gates, or they could all take it easy. Ignited also has the best late pace, Charles, tied with the 10 horse King James and the 12 horse. So the 2 Sesame Street horses do have a little bit of late legs in there to get involved. Again, pretty competitive you come down to here. Most of them are within a tight range of one another. Only the 5 and the 9 kind of off the pace there at the end. Total pace, this race is shaping up to be a very competitive one. Charles, all the way down, all but 2 horses probably have a really good shot at winning this race. This one's pretty much wide open, I feel like. Charles, how did you decide on the horses you like?
Well, I really think I really like the 8 a lot, actually. I think this race is setting up for this horse to give that knockout punch. Hey, get the pun? Sugar Ray. Anyway.
Leonard, yes, indeed.
This horse.
Where do you rank Sugar Ray all the time, by the way?
Oh, definitely. I would say 2nd or 3rd. Definitely in top 5 for sure. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, maybe.
The 8 ran 2nd last time out. 3rd start after a layoff. My favorite angle. Looks really good. Got some solid works. The way this race sets up, this horse has that tactical speed that could do almost anything in this race that you want it to do. Really could go to lead if it finds itself up there, which I don't think it will, but I think he'll sit 2nd or 3rd and make a nice move. The 7 horse is my 2nd pick here. This horse cuts back today in distance. Rice gets 23% first after a claim. Of course, once again, you got the Jose Ortiz and Rice combo there, which always makes them dangerous. The 6 horse is my 3rd choice. This horse ran 2nd last time out. You got a hot jockey in the last 7 days aboard. Definitely looks like it likes this distance, so it makes that horse very dangerous also. And then that scary speed one, I think the 12 ran 2nd last time out. The trainer gets 25% first after a claim. So that's another nice numbers. But I still think everything's really aiming for me, looking like it's for the 8.
Yes, I agree. Sugar Ray Leonard is going to get that knockout punch. Get the pun?
Fun.
Very consistent performer, making its 3rd start after a layoff. What I like is not only is it going to make its 3rd start off a layoff, so usually those horses are fit, but it's got a bullet workout on August the 11th. So clearly, horse is fit, firm, and ready to go. King James. I'm not a big fan of the basketball player, but all right, we'll go with King James. The lone P horse in here, as I said, one of those Sesame Street horses. Should be right off the pace, as we saw in the simulations and the pace sheet, and has some of the most late speed. So if it sits third and charges at the end, could run by them all. Let Freedom Spring up the speed number in the last two, including the top last race speed figure. And again, I always like it when a trainer tries to scratch into a race. I get the feeling that when they kind of analyze everything, they feel like they fit in that race better than they might at another. Charles, do you find that to be true?
It seems like it. Yeah, I do. It's more than not. Let's put that away. I believe.
I've seen so many of them that try to, that are AEs or MTOs, and they scratch in the race and then they win. And sometimes at decent prices because the bettors overlook them. Number 6, Ignited, as we saw in the pace sheet, is the top total pace horse in the field, owns the top early speed and tied for the top late pace. Hard to pass what you cannot catch. Charles, I'm going to do the all even trifecta here at the 8, 10, 12 with the 8, 10. With the 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And I even looked to see if the 2 horse was in because I was like, screw it. With all those even horses, if the 2's in there, I'm going to throw it in the back end too. Thankfully, it scratched and saved me a few bucks.
There you go.
21, right? Number 5, Burn Jakey Burn. Major improvement last race. $200,000 purchase out of Army Mule. Only failed once on dirt. Wire to wire. Number 7, Forward Move. $225,000 Army Mule. And Army Mule Exacta, 9 and 7. So I'm going with all the even horses, and Scary Creations going with the odd Exacta. So we're definitely on the opposite. I mean, if we were on the roulette wheel right now, we'd kind of eyeballing each other as to who's going to take whose money.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of which, you ever go on the craps table and play the don't come line?
I do not play the don't come line.
I mean, I do that all the time because it's like essentially playing with the house. Whenever I get low on money, that's what I'll do. And then it seems to always build your pocketbook, and then you can go back, lose it elsewhere, and come back and then play against the table and make everybody pissed off at you again. Hopefully we don't make people mad at us with our picks for race number 7, Charles. Another maiden race today. What happens here?
Yeah, but these maiden races are pretty good, actually. This one's a mile on the turf. Purse is $136,500. This is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, indeed. At a mile on the inner turf, what you're looking for typically is tactical speed, but 40%, as we talked about earlier, they do go wire to wire. So you probably want to be forwardly placed at this mile on the inner turf. 1, 2, and 3, and 8 and out. They play a little bit above par. 4 through 7 for the post positions. They get dinged a little bit. So either be inside, be outside, be fast. And in race number 7, Charles, again, we do not have any simulation data because too many horses either making a first start or only one race under their belt. So really can't make some calculations off of that, but we can make some picks. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 1 here. This horse ran second last time out. You got Brown and Irad combo. Brown gets 25% first time on Lasix. So there's a lot of things to like about this horse. The 7 itself is my second choice. Ran second last time out. Johnny V stays on this horse, which is a good sign. And of course, you got Todd Pletcher and Johnny V combo, which is a really nice combo. And then the 5 horse is my third choice here. Has the speed. Todd gets 22% when he puts him on the route for the first time. So this horse is stretching out. I do like that angle a lot. This horse was well bet also last time out. And then my prize horse, the 8, got some of that, has some of that tactical speed. Rosario's aboard. Mott's a hot trainer. Even though he's only got 16% this year, he's been hot the later part of this year. So I like that combo, but it's a tough race overall. And remember, in my pick 4, I took not just these 4, I took the 5th, another one too.
Yes, you went with 5. I went with 5 too, a different set as well, a couple different ones in there. And we also have a single, and we have different singles on the back end, so we both can't make it through. Scary cost himself a couple of bucks because he mentioned the 9 and the 7 in the comment in the last race, but he meant the 5 horse instead. And when that happens, you got to put the horse in that you accidentally talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Because damn right well, that's going to be your winner otherwise, Mr.
Yeah, he blew it.
So in this race with a bunch of first-time starters and all that kind of good stuff, limited experience, somehow once again we ended up on the same horse, Tangential, second by a neck when it last ran in November. We'll see if that can be the case there. Does have some good works getting ready and catching that Lasix with early speed. Big fan of Lasix and early speed. That combination has worked well for me many times. Not in a million years, Charles. And the 2-horse, Kick a Rhyme. They're both basically in my picks for the same reason. They tie with one another for the top pedigree. The 3-horse having some decent workouts, but the Kick a Rhyme, the 2-horse, I think it even has better workouts than the 3-horse with that great turf pedigree. The 11, Fancy Stacks, bobbled at the start of his debut. Otherwise, he may have graduated already. Closed aggressively, and I think that was at 7 furlongs. So getting an extra furlong today should make a big difference for that 11 horse. I'm going to do a pick 4 as well with the 1, 2, 3, 7, 11 with the 1, 4, 5, 7, Charles. I'm going to single the 6 in race number 9. And in race number 10, the 2, 3, 8, and 12. So my whole ticket, the keystone to my ticket is that 6 horse. The keystone to your ticket is the 1 horse.
Yeah.
And so one of them should win. Raphael, thank you, Raphael. Your pick 4, 1, 6, 8. With the 1, 7, with the 1, 4, with the 2, 10, and 12. That is the traditional $18 hot dog. If, like Scary and Raphael, you have some thoughts about some picks, questions, comments, suggestions, we're always open here. It's a community. We're all looking to find ways to get more winners. If you have an angle that's working for you, whether it be at Saratoga or anywhere else, please share it with us, because we're always. Well, this is a game where you constantly have to learn, Charles, right?
That's right.
So how long do we have to the second race here? About 2 minutes? Okay, we can probably make it through because they dilly around a little bit down there. Race number 8, Charles, real quick. Let's run through race 8.
Race 8 is a 6 furlongs, allowance $50,000. Purse is $70,000. That's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never started, for a claiming price of $50,000 or less, which have never won a race other than maiden claiming.
At 6 furlongs, we're looking for early speed, 34%. So 1 out of 3 roughly go wire to wire. Small rail bias, so Kunshan Bridge could take advantage of that. 2 through 7 play a little bit under par. If you wear that 8 or out, you do get a bonus. I don't think we got 8 horses in race number 8 today, Charles. No, only 7 in there. If you're looking for some speed, there's a trio of them that look like they're the fastest of the bunch.
Yeah, but the 5 being on top of that with 57% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. That's who I see taking the lead at the quarter pole. But you know what? That too might have a say in that, a 26% chance. So I think it really depends on those two, really, who's going to break the best. And the 4 will probably be pushing them around all the way. When it comes to the simulation odds, oh yeah, look at that 5. What's that? 2 to 5?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And we got 2.5 to 1 on the morning line, which is nice overlay. So that should be your overlay there. That's probably the overlay of the day, it seems like.
Good way. And then on top of that, strongest C-zone, chance to get to the lead. When I've seen this combination, they don't always win, but man, they're very difficult to beat at times, especially if the pace race sets up for them in race number 8. If we look at race number 8, that 5 horse does grade out as your lone E-horse, Charles. Everybody else wants the pressure. So if the 5 gets to the lead, it's going to be where it wants to be, has a 5-point advantage over the 2 and 4. So maybe that's a length that they all have to make up. Does also have some of the best late pace numbers in there with the 5 only. Kunshan Bridge scoring about 6 points better. Again, yesterday we did see the total pace was a key factor in picking winners. 5-point advantage for Win for Gold. So when you look at all of the data, Lone E, top EP horse, gets that great overlay along with the chance to be on the front and the strong C-zone score. All reasons for me for the horse to win, but you went against it.
I did, but you know what? I if you look back at my pick 4s, I did not leave him out. The 7 is my top choice. One last time out. Has that tactical speed. That's what I'm looking for there. Got a hot jock the last 7 days aboard. But the 5, as we've been saying, is the speed horse. Kendrick's aboard. Who else would you want on a speed horse? Horse ran second last time out. This horse is 10 for 17 lifetime. So look at that. The 1 horse has tactical speed is my 3rd choice. Of course, once again, we have that Rice Ortiz combo. and she gets 18% when she rests them up 46 plus days. And then my final choice in this race is the 2. One last time out, hot trainer last 14 days, and Luis Saez is aboard.
So going to give the 6 another chance. Went off as the favorite in the first race in this country. Was so ranked that in that race that Jose choked him to death. Maybe Saez will let him run. We'll see if that's the case. I'm going to go with the 5 horse. All the reasons that I talked about before. The 4 horse Clubhouse. First time that horse ran around Saratoga, won with ease, with much better in-race numbers, culminating in the top last race speed figure. Room to get better today in the third start after a layoff. Groovin, the 7 horse, giant improvement across the board last time out. The resume says likely more to come in round 2 off the bench. And finally, Kunshan Bridge hasn't run at Saratoga yet, so that's a little bit of concern, but hard to ignore that last workout. Second fastest, the 56, 4 furlongs, 48 seconds breezing. Trifecta 4.57 with the 4.5 with the 1.2457 for me in race number 8. 2 to go, Charles. But before we go to those last 2 races, let's go to race number 2 and see what happens in this spot.
Well, I'm a winner, so I hit the all button.
You did hit the all button. And right now, the 1 and the 5 and the 3 are co-favorites at 2 to 1. And then after that, in race number 2, you're looking at everybody's under 10 to 1. So the 4 horse right now, the 3 horse is 7 to 2. So the odds. So right now, the 5 has moved into the favorite status.
So
the
come
4 to
on,
1 on the 8 to 5 for Pleasant Passage.
I need the 4.
The 1 horse is 5 to 2.
Yeah, 7 to 1.
Yeah, that's 6 to 1 right now. So everybody's kind of right in there. And they're off. And based upon our simulations, it does indeed look like that 4 horse. Not so close. It's going to get out to the front along with the 2 horse, Sister Luann, just as our simulations projected. The 4 indeed is on the lead, but I'm not the biggest fan of needing to go 2.5 wide through the turn to get to that lead. Doesn't really look to me like they're going all of that fast. So I'm curious to see what the fractions are going to look like as they make their way through the first turn. The 4 horse not so close, about a length on the lead, followed to the outside by a Pleasant Passage. The 5 horse about a length behind. The 2's on his inside. That horse, Sister Luann, about halfway through the 5 horse. So they're about 1.5 lengths from the nose to the tail of the 2. Now you got the 3 horse in there, Seraphon Moon, trying to make a move, and way in the back, Chili Flag, the 1 horse. They went through that opening half in 48 and 8, so probably going a little quicker than it looks on the screen. As they come through the turn, the 5 horse is indeed moved up along the 4 horse, now trying to make its move beyond that. So Manny Franco. Now you got the 3 horse going wide on that one. The 4 horse looks like it's still running kind of calm. Looks like anybody's got a chance to win this race down the stretch. The 1 horse is moving pretty good. The 5 horse has just called it a day. Looking at the race, that 4 horse continues to be on the lead, Charles, although the 1 horse is gobbling up ground. Question is, who's going to be there at the end? Can the 4 hold him off? I think he's going to, Charles.
I think he's going to.
Wire to wire. 4-1, I think 4-1 and 3. So if you had taken, you should have just went with your top 3 picks, Charles. The only one I don't have in there, the 4 horse wins, and we talked about that in the that any horse could win that race. And again, race.
And it was a blanket finish. It really was.
Yeah, but the 4 horse got in the front, and if you kind of look at it here, he did have the second best C-zone score, right? Was an overlay 4 to 1 at 4 to 1 with fair odds, and it went off at 8 to 1. So you got twice what the fair odds are according to our simulation odds. And then again, if we rewind over here to race number 2, when we look at the total pace figures, I mean, it was tied for second. So a whole lot of reasons just from a betting standpoint to back that 4 horse. Going to be on the lead, right? 4 to 1 was fair odds. You got 8 to 1. So you got twice the odds you should have gotten according to our simulations and went on to win. So congratulations to everybody who backed the 4 horse. Unfortunately, not in my pick 4.
And that's the one I really need. That's when I hit the all button. That's what you want to see, the longest shot of them.
Yeah, and that usually doesn't happen for you. When you did that, I thought for sure like the 7 to 5 would win.
Yeah, I know. I was almost.
But there was really no 7 to 5. All right, so we got 2 races to go, right? Race 9 and 10.
Yes.
Let's knock them out. Race 9 is the lone stakes race of the day. It is the Rick Violette Stakes for $125,000. A mile and a 16th on the inner turf, Charles.
Yeah, like you said, it's a stakes race for $125,000 going a mile and 16th on turf. We had a couple of other races that had more money in as purse than this one.
Yeah, there was a allowance race, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is interesting. This is for 3-year-olds only. That's foaled in the state of New York, so it's very restricted. So it makes it like that. But like I said, for a stakes race, it's not the largest purse of the day.
I think race 2 might have been, right? I think one of those races in there, the one we just saw.
I think so. The one we just saw.
So in race number 9, a mile and the 16th on the inner turf does favor stalkers, although 13% so far have gone wire to wire. A little bit of a rail penalty for Ramblin' Wreck. 2 through 3 get a little bit of bonus. 4 through 7 a penalty, and then again 8 and out you get a bonus again. So the according effect from inside out. Charles, you want a tactical speed horse that's probably middle out in race number 9 in the stakes race. Looks like, again, a race where everybody but Let's Go Big Blue has a shot to be on the front.
Yeah, even that horse does have a little bit of speed, but not like these others, though. The 4 has a 44% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole, but that 3 is going to have a say in that with a 39%. And I also even think the 2 might be the scary little, sneaky little speed in this race also myself. And when it comes to simulation odds, everything looks about right. The 3 at 6-1, you got a morning line at 12-1. That's not too bad. That's a nice little overlay. You got the 4 at 13-1, and the morning line's 15-1. That's a nice little overlay. And then the 5, we have almost 2-1, and the morning line is 4-1.
Yes, but David Aragon is a pretty good line setter. All right. One of the last 2 times today, we'll look at the pace setup. Look at this, Charles. You have the 5 horse as your lone E. 4 horse wants the pressure. Everybody else got that flight attendant status. They can be pretty much anywhere on the track. Let's get out to the front. So far, speed is holding up at Saratoga on the grass in race number 2 and on the dirt in race number 1. So if you're looking for that early speed, you got the 3, 4, 5. They'll all be right there, Charles. That 3 horse getting a little bit of a left arrow designation, Vacation Dance. As far as late speed is concerned, that 1 horse should be coming the hardest at the end, Ramblin' Wreck. And then Let's Go Big Blue right behind. Our total pace numbers, Charles, they belong to the 1 and the 5, Ramblin' Wreck, and it's all coming together, scoring out about 5 points better than anybody else in there. You singled the 1 in here in your pick 4, Charles. Tell us why.
Well, this horse ran second last time out. This is his 3rd start after a layoff. The trainer gets 26% with that angle. Plus, this trainer gets 21% when he puts him in non-graded stakes races. And this horse, I mean, like I said, I think is probably going to be sitting in probably the best spot. You got a lot of speed in there. So all he has to do is be patient and get off that rail. The 2 is my second choice here. Scary speed here. 1 last time out. Castellano stays aboard. So that's another good plus for this horse. The 6 horse is my 3rd choice here. 1 last time out. You got a hot trainer in the last 14 days, which is Weaver. Weaver gets 17% when he puts him in non-graded. Weaver is an excellent trainer. He always puts him out fit, ready to rock and roll. And then the 5 horse, 1 last time out, has that tactical speed. Probably could even take the lead if he had to. Totally fits with this group.
I'm going to start off with the 6 horse in here, Charles. Let's Go Big Blue. I guess the folks over there at Michigan aren't happy with Jim Harbaugh getting suspended over a cheeseburger. Is that what it is? That's what I read. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
I barely read it too. I didn't go into depth on it, but
a cheeseburger, when these kids are making $1 million with the nils now, and the kids down in the SEC are getting $100,000 cars, and they're worried about a kid from Michigan getting a cheeseburger. But anyway. Let's Go Big Blue. Last time out was the first race off a layoff, and it was an enormous spike in those early pace numbers. And the curriculum vitae says you'll see even more in the second race after the break. Ramblin' Wreck, your single. Charles probably going to regret not having that one as my single too. Neck away from winning the last 2, both of which were at this level. And I'm a huge fan of Reeves Racing. Patty and Dean, 2 of the nicest people in all of horse racing, and they actually won yesterday's stakes race too. It's all coming together. Beat some of these horses last time out. The comment was in hand, although it did give up a big lead in the final stretches. That was at a mile. We won by a neck at that point. I think that extra 16th of a mile today is a win record. Finally, number 13, Vacation Dance, regressed in his last 2 races, but did show some sign of a potential return to form in that last race. Trifecta 156 with the 1-6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that takes us, Charles, to the final race of this Trent Thursday. Again, they're going to run 5.5 furlongs in race number 10, Charles, but it won't be on the turf.
No, it will not. It'll be on the dirt, 5.5 furlongs. Maiden purse is $88,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upward. Foaled in the state of New York. So it's all New York breds, and it's 3-year-olds and up.
Again, 5.5 furlongs, Charles. We don't really have a sense of what it does on the dirt. Should probably have a look that up. But in any case, we do know probably speed will do all right. If you're looking for a little bit of giddy up and go, the Russi, the 1 horse, is going to giddy up and go, Charles.
Yeah, the one has got a 76% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole, and that probably does. But, the 4 is going to be pushing it, I personally think. I think it's going to be between those 2 really gunning it out there. But, then, you got a couple others that might want to push them a little bit. But when it comes to simulation odds, the 3 is at 3-1. Morning Line's 8-1. The 1 is almost 5-1, and it's Morning Line's 6-1. And I think that's it when it comes to simulation odds.
Yeah, only the 2 horse really grading out, along with the 4 horse grading out. So that 4 horse might be one to keep an eye on. Good chance to be towards the lead, maybe comfortable with its trip. The high C-zone, the highest, but not a really good one for Twirling Vine as the top C-zone scorer there. Last time, we're going to look at the pace handicapping here, Charles. We do see a pretty balanced race. So far, with the 8 and 12, they're going to make their first starts today. So we're not quite sure what they're going to bring to the table. Everybody else is kind of balanced. That 2 horse may be a little bit concerning, as the Sesame Street horse, the one that doesn't look like the other, is going to sit between the 1 and the 4, the 3 and the 10. Russi, indeed, should be the horse that does set the tone with the 4 vaunted right there, although everybody but Cash Bell should be involved as the race starts. Late pace, again, pretty competitive in there. Everybody's within 5 points of each other, even Cash Bale. I don't know what happened to the 11 horse. I think that one might be scratched, Charles. I might have just missed that one.
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
I think it is scratched. So minus that 11 not being in the race, everybody else pretty competitive in terms of late speed. Of the horses that have had a chance to run so far, Russi 5 points better than everybody else as the top total pace horse, Charles, and neither one of them have us in our picks. In fact, you went with your namesake as the top pick.
With my namesake? Yeah, really. That's what a lot of people tell me I have. The 10 horse. This horse ran 3rd last time out. Got a hot jockey last 7 days. I personally believe this horse is going to be in a perfect spot. Tactical speed. Should be sitting right around 3rd. The 12. This horse is bred for this. It's got some solid works. You got that Jose Ortiz Rice combo, but she's not really known for bringing out first-time starters. But she's so hot right now, it's kind of say, hey, she could break the rules on that one.
Is there a pun intended there or no?
No.
All right, let me make sure.
No pun intended. When it comes to the 8, it's my 3rd choice. Another one that's bred for this. Solid works. Johnny V jumps aboard. So a lot of good things there. And then I'm going to give that 3 another shot. You got to toss out that last race on that 3. Got some tactical speed. Bred to be fast one, even though it hasn't shown speed yet. But, still learning. So I'm going to go with all 4 of those in my trifecta box and try to get a little price in there.
So Scary Creations agreeing a lot with what you got to say there. Lock and key, pick up the mountain for Irad. 2 bullets coming in. Number 12, first-time starter out of La Verdad. He's a great sprinter. So the breeding is there for a sprint race for number 12, Prince of Truth. I'm going to start off with that 8 horse, Charles. And the reason is pretty simple. Again, I totally advocate people getting Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper. One of the best angles that you can look for first-time starters. is this one right here, Charles. That Bullet and Go. 3 furlongs, 36, fastest of 23, breezing. It's not the fastest number, but still quick enough to suggest that one's going to get out of the gate. It is an angle, that Bullet and Go, that wins at 15% or more, and I've collected way too many tickets just using that angle alone to pass it up. Number 12, the one Scary Creation likes in there too, Prince of Truth, first-time starter, has some decent works, and as you mentioned, Scary, good breeding for this race. Twirling Vine, the 2-horse, the last race was better than it looks with faster fractions at 6.5 furlongs than it ran at 6 furlongs. So cutting all the way back to 5.5 furlongs today could really help. And then number 3, Lock and Key, the other one Scary Creations likes, was vanned off in that last race, but has been working out like a fiend, like again Scary mentioned, including 2 bullet workouts at Toga in his last pair. And that last one was 3 furlongs, 35 and 2. That is fast, Charles. Finally, I'm going to do my last bet of the day as a trifecta with the 2, 8, and 12. Again, all the even numbers with the 8, 12. But then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 8, and 12 to mix it up at the end. The final bet of the day for me with our $100 budget. I think I spent exactly $100. Terry will crack me over the knuckles with the ruler if I'm wrong. Here are our total picks for the day. First race, that 7-horse won. In race number 2, that 4-horse went wire to wire. So Charles is alive on his pick 4. He would have been no matter what, though, because he went with the all button. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here for the week?
No, that's about it. Everyone stay safe. Let's hit some winners. And like I said before, like yesterday, if you're out there looking for horses, the yearling sales are coming. So I'm going to be at the sales. So look me up.
Where are they at so that people know where to go?
They're going to be at Keeneland Racetrack mainly. And there's they have another one just down the street from Keeneland Main Track after that. But Keeneland's going to be, I think it's like a 10-day one, something like that. So
be on the lookout for the big boopa.
That's right. You can find some. Drop me an email if you need some help or you need someone to look for you.
All right, so Big Boopa will be at the Keeneland sales. We'll take a look for that again today. We've been kind of on target picking our free tracks of the day. It is Delta Downs going to run tonight. So when you're sitting, Delta Downs, real quick story, Charles, is the reason horse racing today exists, because I was sitting at my desk wondering if somebody had aggregated all the free picks online because I was going to bet at Delta Downs. Thought maybe a local handicapper might have some insight. Nobody did it. That's how horse racing today got started. And then today, that maiden claimer, we do like a 5-1 shot and then a 6-1 shot on top of that. So that opening race looks like a good chance to collect a nice ticket, which happens a lot at Delta Downs. Again, link down in the description down there below. We'll be off until Monday. Maybe we'll be back on Friday. I'm not sure if there's going to be. I haven't heard anything from Tom for tomorrow. So we'll be back Monday. As you mentioned, we'll be back with Parks, Raphael. So make sure you tune in for Terry and I Monday for Parks. Emerald Downs is a reliable track too. Okay, Janet, in terms of picking.
Oh, winners. By the way, Monday I'm stepping in for Terry.
That's right. I forgot about that. Terry will be.
Now you got this beautiful face again.
The screw loose face.
Screw loose.
The Trent Thursdays, indeed. So no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, for the rest of this weekend, we certainly hope you have a safe weekend. We want to thank God for joining us today. We hope you have God's grace, God's favor, no matter what you're doing. But most importantly, every single thing that you do in your life ends up
in the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us again on this Trent Thursday. Looking forward to get back and with Charles in that pretty face Monday for Parks. Have a fantastic weekend.
Peace.